Hey there, Jesse here with eTrailer. Today we'll be taking a look at, and I'll show you how to install the CURT Class 3 custom fit trailer hitch receiver on our 2020 Dodge Journey. If you're looking to get a little more extra storage space out of your Journey, adding a hitch is a great way to do that. It's going to give you the ability to add on accessories, for example, a cargo carrier or a bike rack, and you can even do some light duty towing with it. The hitch does hang down kind of low below the bumper, so you will be able to see the cross tube. You can see the nice gloss black paint finish, and then a 2-inch by 2-inch receiver opening that's going to be standard for most of your accessories. And then we also have a standard 5/8 inch pinhole. The pin and clip are not included with the hitch, however we have many options available here at eTrailer, and also any accessory that you add on will most likely come with one included. Then we have some safety cable loops here. Nice sturdy design, super easy to access with whatever style safety cables you have. For example, this S style, or even a clevis like this. Now for some measurements for our ground clearance, we have from the ground to the top of the inside of the collar is just about 13¼ inches. And from the center of the pinhole to the edge of the bumper is about 3 inches. You'll want to keep that number in mind for any folding accessories that you might add on to ensure they don't make contact with the vehicle. For the weight capacities on this hitch, we have a gross trailer weight of 4,000 pounds. That's the amount of weight that you can pull behind the vehicle, and a maximum tongue weight of 400 pounds. That's the amount of weight pushing down on the hitch. You also have the option to use weight distribution when towing with this hitch. Those numbers will stay the same. And also be sure to check your Dodge's owner's manual to ensure that your Journey can handle that weight safely. All in all, if you're looking to add a hitch to your Journey, you really can't go wrong with this CURT hitch. As for the installation, it's a pretty simple process, but you do have to lower the exhaust and fish wire some bolts in. So if it's not something that you're looking to do yourself, maybe you just don't have the time, the space, or the tools to do so, feel free to check out our dealer locator. If you are looking to get this installed yourself, then just follow along and I'll walk you through the process. Also, if you've installed this hitch on your Journey and you just have some tips or tricks to share with us, please feel free to leave a comment or a review. To begin our installation, we'll come onto the vehicle. I did remove the spare just to get a better view of everything. It's not super necessary, but we'll have to lower our exhaust down. So we have these rubber hangers here. Try to get a pry bar in there and pop that off. There should be 3 of these in total. There's one there, and then there's one on the outside of our muffler here. This one's kind of tricky to get to. So we have those 2 hangers removed, and before you remove the 3rd one, make sure you have something supporting your exhaust. That way it doesn't damage anything towards the front. But I'll just use my exhaust hanger tool, get this one popped out. Now we can safely lower it down. For our spacer blocks, there are 2 different sizes. Each side will take 2 of the smaller ones and 1 large one. The 2 smaller ones will end up on these 2 holes. And our large one is actually inside the bumper beam there. And the way that we'll get those installed into place is with a fish wire. So I'm going to start with this back hole here, feed our fish wire through there, and pull it out the square hole. Once it's pulled out, I'll take one of our small spacer blocks, tuck that up in, and thread on one of our carriage bolts. Just pull that through. I have some insulation that was in here, so I'm going to try to get that out of my way. And our kit only came with 2 fish wires, so I'll just carefully thread this off and redo the same thing with this hole. With our large spacer block, we should just be able to get this in place by hand, and that'll end up right there. A few things before we can lift our hitch up into place. What I did is I threaded our fish wire onto our back bolts. I think that'll make it easier because we'll have something in between the hitch and the vehicle, which I'll show you in a second. Also, we need to unplug this electrical connector just to get it out of our way. And it might help to have a trim tool like this or a flathead screwdriver. Just pop this out of here. That's just one less thing we'll have to worry about while we're lifting our hitch up into place. We don't have to watch this harness and worry about getting it caught, so that should be out of our way. We'll have to have this wedge here in between the hitch and the vehicle. So when we lift this up, I'll probably just have my thumb on it and try to keep it in this orientation with the thick part looking towards the back. That's a good idea to have an extra set of hands. I have my buddy Tom here to help me out. We fed our fish wire through that wedge and the hitch. So now we'll just work our way around the fascia and the exhaust over on his side. And we'll be careful not to push our carriage bolts up. Just get them lined up. And I'll get the middle one started for now. That should hold it into place so we can work on the rest of it. And with a 19mm socket, we'll get these tightened down. Now we'll torque all of our hardware down to the specification listed in the instructions. If you don't have your own torque wrench, we do have some available here at eTrailer, or you could always rent one from your local auto parts store. All that's left is to get our exhaust hung back up and reinstall your spare if you lowered it down. Otherwise, that's going to do it for our look at and installation of the CURT Custom Fit Trailer Hitch Receiver on our 2020 Dodge Journey.